Toss to Pollard. And there he goes. Tony Pollard down the sideline. Jets are on. Touchdown, Dallas.
And welcome to Interesting to See, your daily sports podcast about news, narratives, gambling, takes, the internet. I basically just scroll Reddit and Twitter so that you don't have to. Today's a Football Friday. We only have a couple ones left. This is the last Football Friday of the college season. I understand that there are other games. Army, Navy, not going to mess with them. Of course, this is college conference championship weekend. But this is the last time that there's like big football over the weekend. And then, oh my God, I just watched Taysom Hill hurdle a guy. Maybe we'll bring that up on YouTube in a minute. But Taysom Hill is trash is the headline from last night. We'll get into reviewing that game in a moment, and we will preview college and pro football week 14/13, depending on which league you're in, I think. But first, we're going to start with Brian Kelly, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. Just really quick, I'm going to say this as emphatically as I can. I'm not going to be dealing with him anymore soon. I'm already kind of bored of the story. So two things happened yesterday that were absolute gold, and one of which will be the thing that he's remembered for at LSU. I promise. It'll be like when we revisit this in 5 years and it works or it doesn't work, it'll either be, remember how stupid that was? They beat Nick Saban 4 times, they won 2 national championships. Or it'll be, we should have known. So Brian Kelly gave a speech at an LSU basketball game where he apparently had, within, 18 hours, developed a Southern accent. And we're going to play that for you here in a second. But I want to say two things in his defense. Thing number one is, yes, they're paying you like $4 to $15 million. No one knows yet until the taxes are released. So you do what they want. Secondly, you got to go down there and buy in. Well, my third thing is that I went to school in Mississippi despite being from the Rocky Mountain Midwest. That happens. It does happen. It doesn't happen that quickly. The bad thing for Brian Kelly is that he's getting roasted. I guess he doesn't understand that the internet lasts forever. The second thing that's really unfortunate for him is people are realizing how hot his daughter is, if you want to find those tweets. So we're going to play it for you now. The ironic thing is that just a couple hours prior, he said goodbye to his team for 7 minutes or something, and he used the word family. So let's listen to the pronunciation of the word family. I hope this can be loud enough for you. Let's find out. Here is a player's recording of the goodbye.
Incredible 12 years of my life for me and my family.
Did you hear it? Let's just do it. Let's do family. One more time.
Me and my family.
Okay, let's fast forward. Here's BK. Oh, wait, let's bring it up on the screen for you. Look, there he is. First of all, that purple's rough. Here we go.
To be a tiger.
Tiger.
Here with my family.
Wait, one more time.
Family.
Wait, hold on.
With my family.
Unbelievable.
And we are so excited.
So excited.
To be in the great
State of Louisiana. First of all, they don't quite sound like that. It's a little bit more Cajun-y than that, BK, but I don't blame him. I mean, you got to buy in, first of all. It is hilarious, and we are going to roast him for it, and his daughter is an eligible bachelorette, which is not that going to be that much fun for him. But other coaches have dealt with that. Kristen Saban is married, and but the Meyer daughters don't love their dad. There are a bunch of internet articles about that. So the second thing that happened is that LSU released a video where they essentially just edited with Adobe products. When Brian Kelly was hired at Notre Dame, they made a video, and LSU just stole it and changed all the stuff to LSU stuff, but they pass it off like their own work. Notre Dame people are pretty fussy about that. I think that's hilarious, and people called LSU out on that. They could have a great athletics editing department if they weren't spending so much money on their coaches. Oh, I also don't think that this is a big deal at the basketball game, because if you care enough to hear your new head football coach speak at an LSU basketball game, no one cares about LSU basketball. LSU does not care about LSU basketball. Went to college in the SEC, can confirm they don't care. A couple other highlights from the Twitter.com that I wanted you guys to be aware of. The first thing is that the biggest loss in NBA history happened last night. Did you hear that? The most lopsided loss in NBA history happened last night. At one point, Memphis was leading by 70. I'm not good at math, but they won 152-79. Do you want me to repeat that? They won 152 points to 79 points. Memphis is not good. They were missing their best player and one of the best 20, 30, 40 players in the NBA, which I don't know. He will eventually be one of the best 3 or 4 players in the NBA, maybe. So I'm trying to do the math here. So 79 plus 80 is 159. That's a lot. 73. Wait, 73. 73. Yiggity yikes. Okay, other news from the Twitter.com before we get to NFL. The NFL Players Association and the NFL, they got together to punish Antonio Brown. And I want you to understand, in any business, if labor and management are getting together on something, that is a holy shit moment. They agreed to suspend a couple players. I don't know who the other two are, one of which was Antonio Brown, for violating COVID protocols were violated. So Antonio Brown and Mike Edwards from Tampa Bay have been suspended. I don't know who the third guy was, but they've been suspended for 3 games without pay. That's huge. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars not going into those guys' pockets, and it could be millions if someone at a higher level gets suspended. So this is a shot across the bow to Aaron Rodgers, who didn't lie to the league. He lied to everyone else. He didn't lie to the league, so he's chill. Aaron Rodgers is much smarter than that. But it's kind of a big deal. Also, Tampa Bay was the first team allegedly to be fully vaccinated. That's funny now. Adrian Peterson's dad isn't happy that AP wasn't invited back to the Vikings because Dalvin Cook was hurt. So we've heard from Kareem Hunt's dad, Odell Beckham's dad, and Adrian Peterson's dad on this. This is funny. These are grown men. Of course, remember Adrian Peterson almost went to prison for beating his kid with a stick, in public. And this guy, his dad is standing up for him. Okay, so then, other stuff. Arkansas Pine Bluff had a head coach. He called timeout during a basketball game to make his kids run. So he's humiliating them in front of these people. This is on the internet. It has 600,000 views. I mean, I guess we could bring it up if you're watching on YouTube. There it is. I'll zoom in just for you. A little more. So here he is. Look at him. They're running the baseline. This is kind of crap you pull in youth sports. Screw that guy. Am I right? I mean, everybody agrees. Screw that guy. One more college basketball note. At halftime, Washington State was beating Arizona State 18-10. That was 2 nights ago. I left that out because yesterday was Scandal Day, which I guess that's kind of a scandal. They stole money from people that paid to get into that game. Arizona State scored 10 points in a men's college basketball half. 10. They scored 29 in a game. They've been outscored. The basketball team was outscored by their football team for 8 of their games, and Arizona State is trash. Is there anything else worth mentioning? I am serious. The Brian Kelly stuff is over. Unless there's a real thing that happens, the Brian Kelly stuff is over. Everybody agree? We're all cool? Great. Let's move on to some college football. Real quick news in the college football sphere. There's a 42nd bowl. There are 84 bowl-eligible teams. The game is going to be in Texas, but the game will not be for Texas because Texas isn't bowl eligible. I don't know. They're adding another bowl, whatever. It's a big deal with schools like my home state school, the University of Wyoming. Bowl eligibility is a reasonable goal for more than half the schools out there. And for my alma mater, Ole Miss, we won 10 games this year. College football playoffs, perhaps SEC championship one day, but 7, 8, 9 wins gives us a better bowl. And if that allows Arkansas Pine Bluff or SEMO or one of these other schools to get in, then that's is SEMO double A? I don't know. But regardless, I'm for more college football. Players should have fun. They should get to travel to cool places. They should get free stuff like PlayStations and clothes and stuff, which is what they get from these bowls. Okay, college football. Let's preview some college football. There's a game tonight. It is the Pac-12 championship. Nothing is riding on it because Utah killed the dreams and the hopes of the Pacific Athletic Conference. Utah annihilated the Oregon Ducks by, I think, 31 points in Salt Lake City. Right now, Utah was favored by 3 in that game. They're favored by 2.5 in this game. This will be, and it was last time. Oregon, I think that they kind of shit themselves. Salt Lake City there are 4 or 5 places where in the right circumstance, at the right time of day, which does matter in some of this stuff, it's not a place you want to play at all. Salt Lake City, Lincoln, Nebraska, RIP, used to be one. Baton Rouge is still one at night. Ames, Iowa. Anywhere in the Big 12 on a Thursday, you don't want to be a team going into a Big 12 road game on a Thursday. But Salt Lake City at night is rough, and those guys, they get lit. It's a 45,000 person crowd that sounds much, much closer to 90,000. It's crazy. So Oregon got lit up. But this game, I believe, is in what used to be Candlestick Park and is now Levi Stadium in San Francisco, which is dumb. They should be playing it in Vegas. Are they playing in Vegas? This article was written by staff. That's a dick move by the Lines. I love the Lines. It's a great website for gambling previews, thelines.com. There are a lot of them out there. The Lines and Action Network are good. But this was written by staff. Give someone a byline, dude. What if they want to get a job? What a dick move. I hate that. Anyway, I want to Google where is the Pac-12 championship game. 'Cause I'm pretty sure it used to be in San Francisco. It's in Allegiant Stadium. Yeah, I knew there's no way that they weren't able to kind of coerce their way into getting this game. Allegiant Stadium, the Mountain West should be there too. I don't know why the Mountain West wouldn't try to do that also. They want the home cities to host, but that's dumb. You got to figure out. If you're a smaller conference, it's all about money. Can't be about hype. It's got to be about money because you get money, then people start taking you seriously. Okay, so let's do this gambling preview. I love the lines because it gives me ranks on things. Sometimes it's a couple spots out of date, but points per game. Utah averages 35, but then it compares the Ducks, who average 24. So right now, if you look at all of the statistics, Utah is better at offense than the Ducks are at defense, but the Utes and the Ducks are about the same when Oregon has the ball. So when Utah has the ball, advantage Utah. When Oregon has the ball, tie. You will see, and I'm not joking, the 3 best college linebackers in the country and 3 of the best college linebackers that I have ever seen in this game. Devin Lloyd will, and I don't know how these guys are going to be in the pros. Who cares? Like, I do put a lot of stock into draft picks. All 3 will be drafted. Devin Lloyd will be the first linebacker taken. He's from Utah. Then the Sewell brothers, they play for different teams. So Penei Sewell, of course, is the first-round draft pick of the Detroit Lions. Noah Sewell is the starting middle linebacker for the Oregon Ducks, and I don't think he's draft eligible. Nephi Sewell is a starting middle linebacker next to Devin Lloyd for the Utah Utes. And the Sewell brothers, they are not here to play games. They play great football. Watching Nephi Sewell next to Devin Lloyd, if you're an old-school football guy and you like filling gaps and gap responsibility and defense that's not just a result of bad offense, because remember, this is Oregon, the Sewell-Lloyd combo is violent. And then Noah Sewell for Oregon, and he plays the second level while Kayvon Thibodeau, the best player in college football, plays in the first level. This is a defensive game. The Utes are really well coached, so I watched the Sewell brothers tonight. They are awesome. This is the second time Utah and Oregon have thrown down in the Pac-12 championship. The last time was a couple years ago where Oregon ruined the Pac-12's chances of having a playoff team by beating Utah. Utah returned the favor a couple weeks ago. And now that's on the line, all that's on the line is pride. And for Utah, especially with Lane Kiffin joining their division in the Pac-12 South, it's a big deal. This will be their 3rd Pac-12 championship. They have failed to win one. They got screwed by the refs against Washington a couple years ago on something that should have been a pass interference. But haven't we all been screwed by that? College football games this weekend. Yeah, this is going to be a longer show, but I don't really care. You're not. What are you going to do? Let's take a look. Eastern Washington is playing Montana. Don't care. Kent State, Northern Illinois. That's fun. There will be NFL players on the field. When is that game? Tomorrow at noon. Kent State and Northern Illinois, I don't know their draft picks, but they are always fun players that end up making huge waves in the NFL in the Maction Championship. Utah State is playing San Diego State. I hope it's not in San Diego State. Where is the Mountain West Championship game? This is riveting podcasting, but I don't really care. Dignity Health Sports Park in Carson, California. What the hell is that? Okay. Is it? Guys, play it at a neutral field. You got to. Every sports organization should be run by Wall Street bros. I swear to God. You just got to have them make decisions. This helps everybody. It helps the universities. It helps the kids. It helps everything. People want cool stuff. Okay. Other championship games, of course, the big ones are Michigan that game's in Indianapolis, Michigan and Iowa, and then Alabama, Georgia. And I know that non-SEC people don't like to hear this. The best college football game all year is the SEC championship. And it's been a little lopsided in terms of the amount of teams that have gone since the conference has expanded, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, somewhere in there. But for the most part, the SEC championship is one of the best games all year. It's been a long time since a non-Alabama, LSU, Auburn team is represented for the West. In the East, it's only ever been Florida, Georgia, and in Cam Newton's year, it was South Carolina. So that actually, the East is far less variable. But The fans hate each other. And the SEC, the reason people hate the SEC is there's like a tinge of jealousy. It does matter a lot more. And if you think that it's not a sore spot, one of the reasons that Alabama is so good, the thing that keeps those guys motivated, like how do they do that? Well, they won national championships in the years that they didn't win the SEC. And make no mistake that Georgia and LSU would rather have their national championship, but they do have an SEC championship, and that does matter. So it's a game. It's like the crowd noise and stuff. It is the best game. It's the best game to watch on TV all year. It's at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Then the nightcap will be Iowa at Michigan. This is pretty cool. So remember they did various divisions with just random split teams. Off the top of my head, Iowa has played in it. Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, Nebraska, Ohio State, and now finally Michigan is in it. They are the sixth. Is that am I counting right? Sixth team from the Big Ten to go to the championship. Actually, seventh. Northwestern was in it. God, Northwestern got there before they did. That's effing hilarious. Also at 8 p.m., a game that's actually driving distance from me. I bet it's probably pretty cheap because I doubt that Wake Forest and Pittsburgh are selling out whatever stadium that the Carolina Panthers play in. I wish that wasn't funny, but it just is. It's a great weekend in college football. I don't spend as much time watching college football as I used to. I watch my alma mater. I watch teams that are close to me, but last weekend and this weekend are the best college football weekends of the year in terms of hype and what's on the line. Okay, really quick, then we got to get to the NFL. What's on the line? If Michigan wins, they're going to the dance. If Georgia wins, they're going to the dance. If Oklahoma State wins, they're going to the dance. If any one of those three things doesn't happen, we've got a crisis on our hands. Iowa winning the Big Ten with 2 losses. Alabama winning the SEC, giving them 1 loss, and Georgia 1 loss. If Michigan loses, when Iowa wins and Michigan loses, then what are we going to do with Michigan? They have 2 losses at that point. Ohio State, Michigan State, Notre Dame, Baylor, a bunch of random things could happen. So if you're rooting for chaos, you're rooting for Alabama and Iowa for sure. Maybe Wake Forest and Pittsburgh can get back in this. NFL preview, I have some best bets for you somewheres. I love Arizona Cardinals -7 over the Chicago Bears. I think they're going to whoop the Bears. The Bears look like they're going to quit. The Cardinals are good. They don't even need Kyler Murray. I don't care if he plays. They barely need Nuke Hopkins. The air raid defense is legit. It makes people tired. Defensive ends, which Chicago has, they get bored. That game is at 1 p.m. It's in Chicago. I love Arizona -7 or -7.5, depending on where you're getting it. I have an underdog. Underdogs really scare me, but despite living in Philly, I love the New York Jets +7 right now, or +7.5, depending on when you get it. The over/under is 45, which means like that's a huge point spread for such a low total. But they're big point spreads, and the Jets cover. Zach Wilson does suck, and if he plays, then maybe it won't happen. I think he's going to play, but he absolutely sucks. But 7 is a lot of points. So those are my 2 best bets this weekend. Props, I haven't really looked into any props. Maybe I'll do a little YouTube about some prop bets as well. Seattle's only – I have another best bet. I'll take San Francisco -3.5. Wait, no, that's next week. Wait, what? Seattle was on Monday Night Football, and now they're hosting San Francisco, who's trying to make a run. And the Seahawks are – the Niners are only 3.5-point favorites. Okay, so my best bets are San Francisco to win by more than 4, Arizona to win by more than 7, and New York to lose by 7 or less, the New York Jets. Any other storylines this weekend? No, not really. Actually, it's kind of a crappy weekend for football. There are not a lot of playoff teams throwing down against each other. The best matchup has been flexed into Sunday Night Football. That's the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. The only other playoff team right now is Baltimore and Pittsburgh. There are some sort of close games. The Washington football team and the Las Vegas Raiders, 2 teams that are just trying their damnedest to make a run. Tampa's playing Atlanta. They should crush those guys. The Giants and the Dolphins in a game that just looks ugly. Other divisional matchups, the Vikings and the Lions. The Lions are 7-point underdogs. We'll see how that goes. The Lions are getting a little bit healthier. Dalvin Cook is not playing if you're a fantasy person. The Texans are 10-point home underdogs to the Indianapolis Colts. I think that might be low if you wanted to bet that, but double digits is usually something I stay away from. LA is 13-point favorites over the Jags, whatever. And then this is the biggest Sunday Night Football game of the year. It's the Buffalo Bills versus the New England Patriots. The Bills are favored by 2.5. I don't know. I'm actually just really excited. Remember, like this time last year, we all just assumed the Bills have kind of taken over the division, and Bill Belichick's like, hey, actually, I was a huge part of the success too. It wasn't just Tom Brady. All right, that's going to do it. A little bit longer episode today. I hope you don't mind. Football Fridays are always the best. I'll be back and better than ever. This weekend, I'm changing my YouTube channel to be correct orientation. I used to do YouTube so that it was vertical orientation for people's phones, and I think people hated it. So now I'm doing this, and maybe I'll add some graphics and stuff one day as well. Back and better than ever on Monday. Like, rate, review, subscribe, make all your friends listen. Okay, thanks. Bye.